So the friends in the doghouse yet again, Mo. What's going on now?
All right, so my dude made a decision that he thought was good for his relationship, but it turned out that it didn't go so well, and now he's in the doghouse having a big fight with his lady. And my friend group was discussing his decision, and we're kind of split on what he did and what he should have done. So he's married, and they've been together for a while, and he is a promoter. So pretty much his job is to be at events. He's always at events, promoting parties, at the parties. That's what he does. He's found himself in trouble in the past because sometime when he goes to these events, a lot of the time he's with people from his past. And of these people in his past, sometimes there's a woman he may have spoken to in the past. Now, typically, it's not a problem because he doesn't necessarily have to reveal who's going to be at these events when he goes, because he doesn't always have his lady with him. He's by himself. So most of the time he's quiet about it. Now, there was a point, I think he said about 2 years ago, when he did that for the first time. He brought his wife to one of his events. Drinks started flowing. She felt the way after she realized who was going to be there. At that time, they got into an argument because she didn't like the fact that she had to be in the same place with somebody that he used to speak to. So he understood it, but he was conflicted because in his mind, it's like, when I throw these parties, I have no control over who shows up. Mm-hmm. He has to promote it on his socials. He can't help if followers or if people whom he used to talk to come and show up at these events.
Why is his ex showing up at his events?
He's looking for some dude.
Possibly. Possibly.
What do you mean, why?
He gets paid based on how many people he brings to these events. So in his mind, if it's an old friend, if it's an old ex, whomever it is.
A body's a body.
Head count, man.
A body is a body.
Yep.
That's how he gets his money. He don't care who show up. It ain't about that. He's just doing his job. So in his mind, when this went down last time and it turned into a whole thing, he said to himself, I'm never allowing that to happen again. I'm never putting myself in that position again. So she hadn't asked to go to any of his work events, I guess, for a very long time. I think they both kind of figured out the best thing for us to do is to separate this. But she has a tendency to constantly always try to figure out who's at the events that he goes to now because of the fact that she realized that sometime maybe his ex or people from the past will pop up at the event. So he had an event coming up, and he was tipped off by somebody who's in his life, not someone he speaks to, like a good friend of his, that there was someone from his past, someone that he knows very well that his wife cannot stand, absolutely hates, that was going to come to this particular event that he was hosting. So he wasn't sure what to do. He was like, do I say something to her and be honest with her? Do I just pretend like I didn't even know she was going to be there? Or do I try to get out of it ahead of time?
Does he have a good poker face?
I would no.
Okay.
No, because I just thought of some instances where he kind of dropped the ball there.
Okay.
So when he came to us beforehand, we all had different advice for him as his guy friends.
What was your take?
My advice was to get out of taking your wife to the event. I'm gonna be honest, because I just didn't see it going well any other way.
Before I give an opinion here, why does the wife hate this ex that was allegedly going to show up? Did they have a conflict in the past?
No, there wasn't a conflict. She's just somebody who was like in his life for a long time that she knows he was very fond of before her. And so she don't like her. I mean, she just doesn't want to be around her. She doesn't want to deal with it. But this woman, I guess, won't go away because they have mutual friends. So there are just times when they're in the same vicinity, and for him, it's because of work. Now, this one was like a celebration for him. So he kind of invited everybody, and his wife obviously wanted to be there. So he knew beforehand, this might be a problem for me. And I told him, you should just try to get out of it. He didn't take my advice. He took one of our other friends' advice and was like, just bring her. Just bring your wife. It's nothing you can do. It's out of your control. Bring her. It'll work out. It'll be fine. Well, when they got to the event, it did not work out. It did not go well. It was not fine. She was pissed that he did not give her a heads up.
Mm-hmm. I would be too.
Yeah, that was the one thing he did that was really wrong.
Now,
what a dumbass.
Yeah, well, in his mind, he went with, he didn't know. Because technically,
he lied.
Technically, he didn't know if she was actually coming.
But there was a possibility.
He heard she was coming. He didn't know if she was actually going to be there or not. So in his mind, I'll cross that bridge when I get there.
Absolutely not. You sit down your wife and be like, hey, so-and-so may or may not be at this party. So that way she's somewhat prepared in case there's like an interaction.
That's where he messed up right there. God, this is so freaking exhausting, man. These things shouldn't be that hard. If you're in a relationship or a marriage like this where it's this hard and you're constantly having to play this chess game in your mind, it just shouldn't be that hard.
And that's what I guess he's dealing with, because he's said in the past, like, this might be the case. I might go and it might be people from my past there. She didn't take it well. She made it a little difficult for him to enjoy his night at work because he told her. So I guess he was trying to learn from that mistake and he didn't say anything. And that got him in trouble too. So I told him, I don't know what's the right answer in this situation as a man in that position.
And I sincerely don't fault his wife. And I think it may be misdirected because the ex who is showing up, she has ulterior motives.
Well, so I do kind of blame the wife here. I think the only mistake this dude made was just by not saying, hey, here's a heads up. I hear blank is going to be there. That's the only thing he's guilty of. Is the wife really that insecure? I mean, you said that she goes through great lengths to find out who's going to be at his paid events. That's how dude is paying. That's his income.
Mm-hmm.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, she is. To be completely honest with you, she is. Because, I mean, every time he has an event, she'll go and like look at the parties, look at the videos, look at the pictures to see who was there. And if someone is there that she don't like, it's a problem.
What kind of baggage is she carrying? Because she needs to handle that.
Expensive luggage. It's very expensive.
Top shelf. Louis Vuitton.
They won't even let her on the plane.
man.
She's got so much baggage.
You know, what's that saying that we talked about months ago that dudes live in silence, a silent desperation, or what was it?
I don't remember this one.
It was like, dudes, I think because they feel like sometimes that they have to hide things like this and they can't live their authentic self in a lot of cases. This is the reason why right here.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just as guilty as she is for putting up with it and maybe choosing this for certain psychological reasons, but I don't think it should be this hard.
No, I think if you're spinning your wheels this much in a relationship, like, wouldn't it just be easier to be single? I mean, I'm the representative for the streets over here. It sucks, but come on over back to the streets. It's a lot easier.
I'm just looking at the marriages that I really, really respect. This would never happen in Kristen and Bart's marriage. It would never happen in my friend Molly and Joel's marriage. Coy Claire, never.
Not now, but I was that person in the beginning.
He shouldn't have married you.
I know.
The Bert Show.